Alright, match 4. This hand is good. We can finally see the power of Nimble Mongoose. I don't know that I've cast more than one of them in the past 3 matches, so... Turn 1 Mongoose, turn 2 Mongoose Vessel, turn 3 Crack the Vessel, and be somewhat close to Threshold. I'll probably have to also cast this Grizzly Salvage first. Vault Scourge. Oh, this is going to be fun. Is this Stompy, maybe? Am I willing to trade off my Mongoose for their Vault Scourge? Theirs can be a lot scarier if they have a Rancor or something. Or a Hunger of the Howlpack and they're able to put some counters on it. But mine's also going to be a 3/3. I don't think I'm going to attack just yet. Pass a turn. Alright, they're going to attack us. Let's see what they get second main phase. Pit Skulk with Bloodthirst. And another one. Okay, well that's one reason we could have traded off with the that thing there. Alright, so here I'm going to pass, and this is going to be my Rancor check. If they go for a Rancor, I get to Doomblade in response, assuming they put it on one of the Pit Skulks and not the Vault Scourge, and then I don't have to deal with Rancor for the rest of the game. Or at least not that copy. And if they don't do it, then I can just spend this turn casting Grizzly Salvage. Alright, there's the attack. Metal Sentinel. And they pass. Okay. Alright, what do I need here? A land or a 2-drop? Lands are pretty important. I think I'm going to go with that. Another Mongoose, okay. So let's go Doomblade, and we will get rid of a Pit Skulk or move the Sentinel out of the way. I think we're going to get rid of a Pit Skulk. They can block this turn if they want. Most likely they can see this trick coming from a mile away, but just in case. Not going to crack this until now. Forest or Swamp? I'll take Swamp just in case I draw another black spell. I'm going to resolve Angler and that spell next turn. Now we have decent blockers, and we just have to worry about their combat tricks and Rancors. Well, there's the Rancor. We did try to do the Rancor check last turn, but they were smart enough to not do it whenever we had mana up. They waited till we were tapped out, so... And it turns out they put it on the black creature, so I wouldn't have been able to Doomblade that anyway. They're getting enough life here, it's going to be very difficult to race. And they also cast a Groundswell at the last moment. Alright, so what are my choices here? I'm taking 3 in the air next turn. There's nothing I can do about that. Which means I need to block both of these creatures. And I need them to not put another Rancor on this one. Or any pump spell at all, really. So I either need to dig for a removal spell, like a Deadweight by cracking the Vessel. Or I need to hope they have no... Yeah. I think it's too much to hope that they have absolutely no pump spells whatsoever, so... Alright, there's a Stinkweed out. That's something. Have that in the air next turn, assuming I survive till then. And then I can play Werebear or I can play Angler. Don't want to exile my graveyard yet, so Werebear it is. I'm assuming they have no pump spells whatsoever, so I'm not worried about them being able to get past my 2 blockers, so I'm going to attack with 2 creatures to speed up my clock as much as possible. Alright, there's the groundswell, and that's it for us. Well, we couldn't deal with the Vault Scourge, so let's see what we can do next game. Alright, against Stompy, I'm going to bring in Echoing Decay and a Brown Scale. And I'm going to cut a Pulse because it's slow, and 1 Vessel, I think. I'm going to try to run it like this. Okay, to be in the play. Turn 1, nothing. Turn 2, Decay or Edict. Turn 3, Edict again, maybe? That's fine. Unfortunate that I really don't want to discard these or exile these edicts to play the anglers because I'm not really sure how I'm going to cast it now. I'm going to use Decay first, just in case they want to go for the early Rancor. And I'm going to do this now because of Bloodthirst. And they're going to Mutagenic Growth it. Okay. Make the Decay not work. They have Mutagenic, they have Vines of Vastwood, they have different things that could counter that there. Unfortunately, I only have 1 of these Echoing Decay, so I'm not going to be able to get a 2 for 1. Stuck on land, so I just play Chainers and pass. Theoretically, these Stinkweed Imps should do a lot of work against a creature-based deck, but they may have enough trample to be able to get past it, even if I play one every single turn by dredging it back. Quirion Ranger to untap the Sentinel, return a Forest so they can replay it. Alrighty. Untap land for Stinkweed would be very welcome. Alright, well, we got our request answered. Now we get to play this, potentially dredge it back next turn and cast Edict plus Angler if I can find a Black Source. Well, I'm not finding a Black Source if I'm dredging this, because that'll be my draw for the turn, but let's see what they do here. Hunger of the Howlpack for 3 counters on their Vault Scourge. So I'm not going to dredge that back yet. I need to continue drawing lands. I'll just play the other Stinkweed Imp for now. Now next turn I can play Chainer's Edict plus Gurmag Angler since I found my second Black Source. And they do not want to trade with Stinkweed. They're going to try to assemble a large force and potentially Alpha Strike past. Stinkweed now or later? Yeah, let's go ahead for Stinkweed. Hit them with Chainers. And now we have to see what ways they have to get past our blockers and see if this Gurmag Angler can close out the game. Another Young Wolf. Alright, 2 cards in hand. The thing I need to worry about most now is Vines of Vastwood, since it lets them either use the 2/2 to kill the Gurmag Angler or trade a Quarian Ranger for it or whatever they want to do. Trade a Young Wolf for it. Taking the biggest creature here. Leaving as many blockers back as possible while still having a beatdown available. Metal Sentinel. Still at 2 cards in hand. Still don't need a dredge yet. Hit a land, okay. This turn I can resolve Brown Scale and Stinkweed Imp. And now they're going to pump their Scourge so they can gain a bunch of life and kill the Angler in the process. They're paying this for life, so this indicates that they have 2 mana worth of spells remaining. And with 1 spell in hand, that's most likely Vines of the Vastwood. We're also 2 lands away from Chainer's Edict flashback now. And can they get past our blockers? That is the question. No need to dredge at the moment. Actually, I didn't realize, but because of this werebear, we have Chainer's Edict available now. I know this just transforms a Young Wolf and actually improves their board right now, but since we have a total of 3 Chainer's Edicts, I need to start flashing them back, because once we get to the 3rd one, we're going to have done a pretty good number on their board. Leaving Golgari Brown Scale back to block is great, since if we get to dredge it back and gain 2 life, it's like a continuous lifelink creature. They're still not ready to attack yet. I'm still not ready to dredge. Grizzly Salvage. Okay, let's see if I can find a good creature from that. Like another Angler would be great. Alright, there's our Angler. And we put another Chainer's in the yard, our last one. One, two, three, 4, 5. What do we have to exile? 6, 7. Make our future Moldgraph Scavengers as good as possible. Attacking even with the Werebear here. I'm okay to trade it with the Scourge. I'm okay with transforming their Young Wolf. It does get rid of one of our mana, which is kind of bad for our Chainer's Edicts in the yard. Because if we top deck like a tap land or something that doesn't really matter, we don't have the option of doing Chainer's Edict, but it's a big attacker and I wanted to do that. So we traded that with the Vines of Vastwood that we were pretty sure they have. They're back up to 2 cards. We still have a slightly superior force, but they've kept on gaining life with this Vault Scourge, which is definitely helping them. Nimble Mongoose, that's a fine draw. Yeah, let's see if they have another Vines. Groundswell, okay. Gaining another 6 life, eating another one of our Anglers. Now we need to see if we can win before we run out of Anglers. Werebear, okay. That means next turn I'm going to have 7 mana for these 3 Chainer's Edicts in the yard. Again, assuming they don't do something about it. Ooh, a deadweight. That's a pretty good card. Now, what do I want to deadweight? Or do I just want to wait on it? I think I'm going to attack like this. And then if they try to use another +2 effect to block a 4/4, like they've done a couple times in the past, I can finish it off post-combat with the deadweight. If it's a Vines, then oh well, but... Alright, there we go, perfect. Let's see if I have another protection spell, or if this is going to work. Awesome, we got it off the table. Well, that's a huge boon. They got all the way up to 30 life, though, and they have a backup Scourge, apparently. Stinkweed Imp Dredge, still no. Holograph Scavenger is a fine draw. It appears that this Vault Scourge is new. It was the most recent thing that they drew. And it also appears that it didn't have another plump spell last turn, or they would have used it to save their other Vault Scourge that had counters on it. So I'm pretty sure I'm attacking with Stinkweed plus Mongoose this turn. Alrighty. Gladly trade. I think Rancor is probably the thing we're scaredest of now. Even if we get to keep on trading off every single turn and making some decent blocks, we could be in trouble. Oh, I forgot about this card. Alright, so they have a lure effect so they can get the rest of the creatures in unblocked. That could be bad for us too. They have 7 power right now, so if they have like 2+4 effects, they could get that up to 15. See if I can find a removal spell for this Shine-In. Or just an untapped land to reduce their board a little bit lower. Still have 3 Chainer's Edicts left. I'm surprised they didn't wait till their 4th land, or use the Quarian Ranger to channel this out when we weren't ready for it. No dredge. Let's see what they want to do with this. Still want to have some semblance of a beatdown on, and if they're going to be attacking with the Shine-In, I don't want to waste all of my things blocking that. I want to have some attackers too. I'm trading these with smaller creatures, but every single time that I trade, it makes my Chainer's Edicts better, and it's make this Shine-In worse, and it makes their Rancors that they could draw worse, so I'm okay making these suboptimal trades. I've still got 2 anglers somewhere. Or maybe 1 angler? I think I have 1 angler left. Alright, Bone Splitter. It's kind of like Rancor. Let's see what they can do with it. Put it on the Vault Scourge. Yep, that makes the most sense. They can also use this Quarian Ranger to keep this Nettle Sentinel untapped without having to cast a spell every turn, so... Oh wait, and they don't attack yet. That's interesting. Well, do I want to cycle this, or do I just want to Chainers? I think I just want to Chainers, actually. It's not really that great this turn. I probably just get a Quarian, but next turn it's going to get better again, because I get a 2/2. This is the weirdest game. Oh man, I misclicked there. I meant to cycle that. That's not great. Alright, they're finally attacking with all. We'll make the only blocks that we can. And we'll see what their trick is. They only have one card in hand. Groundswell, okay. They lose their shine-in by doing this. And they don't really get us particularly low. We're falling to... Where are we falling to? 5 here? Yeah, we can deal with 5. There goes the last Changer's Edict. And see how well they draw. An angler. I do love anglers. Let's see if we can outrace. It's turn 19. Will the Stompy deck have enough to get it done? They have a Quarian Ranger, one more card in hand. A Werebear, okay. Just gonna keep on bashing. Keep on seeing what we can do. I think Rancor is probably still the card I'm most scared of. That and Vines of the Vastwood on the Vault Scourge blocking an Angler again. I really want this Angler to survive. It's my last one. Alright, take a bunch of damage. I feel like we haven't drawn very much removal either. We've drawn 1 Dead Weight, 1 Echoing Decay, and the Edicts. We still have a Capsule and some other cards to draw. Well, there's a Forest. Don't quite have lethal yet. Attack like this. I want to leave back a blocker for each of their attackers, so they can't just go pump spell, you're dead. Alright, no blockers. They fall to 8. And we can threaten them with lethal next turn and force them to start blocking. They have a Young Wolf, okay, I'm not too afraid of that. That's good for a couple of blocks of a ground creature, I guess. A Vessel of Nascency, okay. Executioner's Capsule, Deadweight, okay. Get rid of this lifelinker, or at least try to. They let that happen, so they probably don't have a Vines in their hand. Tagging for lethal, let's see what they do. I might have been able to also attack with Golgari Brownscale there, just they'd have to block 2 things, but I want to leave back a lot of untapped creatures just in case. Alright, do they have a wild card, some way to get through unblocked? They do not. Okay, we won. So if the game is going to potentially go on long, do we want a Quiet Disrepair or a Seal for a Bone Splitter or a Rancor? Rancor doesn't help with, because Rancor just comes back as soon as we choose to get rid of, but it could be good for getting rid of Bone Splitter or Vault Scourge. I think I'll cut 1 more Vessel for a Quiet Disrepair and try that out. Okay, we are on the draw. Our opponent mulligans to 6. We have turn 2 Edict, turn 3 Imp, trade it off, turn 4 Dredge it back Angler. If we draw green, it's great. And if we draw removal, it's decent, so I'm going to keep. Opponent mulligans to 5, put cards on the bottom. So hopefully they just go all in with this Scourge and I get to blow them out with Angler on turn 2. And there's a Pit Skulk, okay. Could play a Scavenger and wait on this Edict, but I do not want to. I don't believe. So I'm just going to Edict now. Make them decide what creature they want to keep before they see too many of the cards they're going to draw. Scargan can get past Stinkweed, so that's something to keep in mind. I guess it can get past Scavenger too, can't it? Alright, there's the Chainers. Next turn I get to resolve a Brown Scale, which is going to be nice. And then the turn after that, probably an Angler. They let me trade off with the Young Wolf. They play a Nest Invader, luckily after I already went through two of my Chainer's Edicts, so that's very good for me. Falling down to 13, they have 2 cards in hand. I could dredge back the Stinkweed and play Scavenger, most likely with 4 card types. Well, maybe not most likely with 4 card types, but with a good chance of 4 card types. Yeah, I think this is the best. 6 card types, not bad. Okay. So can I maintain that after playing Scavenger, or after playing Angler, rather? No, I can't, because I'll only have 3 cards left. So what do I want to play here? I think I'm just going to say forget the Scavenger, resolve my life gain card, and my big card. Leave the Chainer's Edicts there. And go with that. I had to exile a Brown Scale to do it, but I have another Brown Scale, so I'm not too worried. Shinin', okay. So I need to kill the Shinin' or reduce their board so they can't one-shot me with it. They can attack for 4 next turn. I'm at 13, so if they have 2 plus 4 effects, that's not going to be enough. They're at 2 cards in hand. I'm going to attack first, and then I'm going to play 2 blockers. Wait to turn on this Angler so I don't have to get rid of my Chainer's Edicts to do it, because they might come in handy this game. Even though my opponent does have an Eldrazi token, and I'm 2 lands away from them. Alright, well, if they can have 9 points worth of burst damage and 3 cards, then they might be able to one-shot me here with the Shinin'. Scargan is scary, but it can at least be blocked by an Angler. Depending on what they do here, they could hit me for 4 though, and then next turn be able to attack with Shinin', so the Angler has to stay back. Alright, what to do? I think I want to leave back exactly Angler, and attack with the rest. And then resolve a second Angler. Well, actually, I want to attack with the rest, leave back Angler, yeah. That's what I said. Now I'm very possibly dead on board to them pumping this for 4, attacking with the Shinin' or Shinin', whatever you want to call it, and getting in for 10 damage, but there's nothing I can do about it because I don't have a removal spell. So here I'll get them down beneath 10, play my second Angler, and have them dead to 2 Anglers next turn. So if they don't have the pump spell, they probably will lose. Okay. I also just realized that was silly of me. I should have attacked with that other angler as well. I still lose to a pump spell either way, but I could have probably just gotten in for another 5 damage because I had this other one coming. For some reason, I guess I was thinking I wasn't casting this, but there was never really a point when I thought I wasn't, so. Oh well, that's game either way. Vines of Vastwood and Shinnin combine to get us. Well, that was a very long match. Probably made some sort of play errors at some point during it. Maybe should have won, but oh well, our opponent did take it down, so congratulations to them, and we are on to the next match.